Nothing better than the sound of the 6-cylinder boxer engine. I'm going to do a quick oil change, but look at that. You can set your cups of coffee in there and put them in when you're at McDonald's. Good thing about synthetic is, fucking crow, I'm going to shoot you. Nothing better than the sound of the 6-cylinder boxer engine. I'm going to do a quick oil change, but first things first. I would imagine we're all the same when it comes to coffee. So I found a great thing in the back of this. Lift out this bag. And under here, I think this must have been, what would it have been? CD player or something originally. Look at that. You can set your cups of coffee in there and put them in when you're at McDonald's. So medium's a perfect fit. It just fits in there, the lid sits on the top and it holds them in place and they don't spill. So if you want a large you can buy 2. But usually when I'm getting or out for a run and the wife says bring back coffee, I'll get 2 and put them in there. So I think it was a CD changer or something goes in there, I don't know. But whatever it was, it's not there now. It was taken out by the previous owner and I reckon he's been using it as a coffee holder as well. Anyway, I'm going to service, well, change oil on this bike. Cheers. Lovely. And by the way, I don't sponsor McDonald's, I just love their coffee. Okay, here we go. So, apart from getting my coffee, I also got some oil. And a filter. K&N 204. And I'm going back to my Castrol. Power 1 Racing 540. If you go on the oil selector for Castrol, it recommends this for the Goldwing. The Goldwing XL recommends, I think it recommends a 1040. It can be synthetic, non-synthetic, whatever you want. Good thing about synthetic is, fucking crow, I'm going to shoot you. The best thing about synthetic is it's man-made and it lasts longer. Conventional oil you have to change more often. So some people like to change their oil every 5,000 k. It's maybe a bit OT, but if you want to do it every 10,000, stick in a fully synthetic, it'll last that easy. And if you're like me and you know your bikes, you'll know when you need an oil change because the bike will actually tell you. And if that crow doesn't shut up, I'm going to fucking shoot it. Oh, aye. Aye. Yeah, anyway, here we go. So while I'm under this bike, there's a wee plate here. There's a couple of screws, hold it on, you can slide that off. And you can see your oil filter and your oil plug. So just swap them off, drain the oil out, and that's that bit done. So there we go. Oil filter off, sitting on here draining, and oil plug out. So I'll leave that and sit and drain it for a while, and I'll have my coffee. One of the things I like to do when I'm doing that is when I use my oil pan, I like a really nice clean oil pan. I clean it so there's no dirt in it whatsoever. So when I drain the oil out and then I empty it out the pan into an empty canister, you can have a look and see if there's any damage to your bike, if there's any iron filings, which you're always going to get. But you can have a good look at a good inspection and just see what's happening in your engine. Now that engine oil doesn't look too bad because it wasn't that long ago I changed it, but I just wanted to put something really good in it, and that's why I've went with the Castrol one, the 520. I know another couple of people that use the same oil and they said it's it's good. I mean, how do you tell, really? Oil's oil. But I do know Castrol's good. I've used it for years, and usually I'll swear by it. However, I'll go and have my coffee and I'll let that drain for a good half hour at least, and then I'll come back to it. Yep, well, that's the sump bolt back in, oil filters in. Just putting in the Castrol oil. Now it takes 3.7 litres. This is a 4 litre can. 3.7, 4 litres, 0.3 of a litre is left in the can. 0.3. Actually, you can put it all in. If you let it sit for long enough and drain out, it'll take the whole 4 litres quite easily. And it just shows it on the high level of the dipstick when you start it. So it doesn't do it any harm. There's no point sitting trying to measure out 3.7 litres or whatever. But yeah, luckily the Goldwing, you can put in the whole 4 litres. And she's fine. Like I say, she'll show on the high end of the dipstick, but it's not high enough to cause any problems. And there we go. That's that done. All finished, all filled up. And just take that out of there. Can't remember where I got that funnel, but it fits in really well. So, dipstick on. And we'll just start it and make sure that it's not leaking any oil. So again, I've went with a K&N filter 204. Did fine the last time. So I'll put the ignition on. There's a wee oil light. I don't know if you can see it or not in there. We'll start it up, make sure it goes out. Just takes a second or two till the oil filter fills up. Yeah, and then give it a wee rev and then check your plug and your filter. Don't you just love the sound of that? It says I've got my trunk open. Still says my back trunk's open. I just need to... No. Back trunk's open, it says. There we go. All done. So we'll go under, have a wee look. Yeah. And as you can see, there's no oil leaking out the bottom of the filter. There's no oil leaking out the sump bolt. It's a really easy oil change to do. I'm quite happy with that. I'll just switch her off. Ooh. And then we'll check the dipstick and see what she's like. I'll leave it a couple of minutes, it's switched off, and enjoy my Macker's coffee. Back in a minute. Oh, just having a look at this. Emptying it back into the can. The good thing about emptying into the original can is you can see exactly what's came out at, how many litres, so you know if it's used any. So have a look at that. There's the bottom of the pan. You can see a couple of wee bits in there that's came out with the oil. Now the pan was spotlessly clean, so there has been some little cruddy bits came out, but that's normal. Don't worry about it. But I'll empty the rest of this out of here, and then we'll have a wee look. and see where it is lying in the bottom of the pan. There's another bit appeared. So, I don't know if you can see that or no, there's some wee cruddy bits in the bottom of the pan. There's a wee... don't know what that is. That was in it. You know what that looks like? This was in the oil line at the bottom. It looks like a bit of a gasket. Is it? Like a bit of black paper. Maybe. See, there's a wee cruddy bit. Look at that. But it's not metal. It's like carbon. Yeah, it could be carbon, but most of it's probably carbon. It doesn't look like metal at all. If it was metal it would stick into your skin, but I think it's all just bits of carbon. Yeah, definitely. So that's good. The oil was clear enough coming out of there, so I'll clean that ready for the next oil change and put the waste oil away, and then we'll go and check the dipstick. So here we are back at the dipstick, so take it out. Give it a wipe. Once your dipstick's clear, just pop it straight in, straight back out, and look at it. Now you see it? Don't know if you can notice that. It's up a bit there, above the line. That wee bit there. It's not up much, it's just a little bit. And it's been sat for about 5 minutes, so I'm happy with that. That's not going to do any harm. And it saves them to top it up at some point, although by rights you shouldn't have to top these things up, eh? I mean, it's Japanese Honda. Yeah, I've never had to top it up yet. It seems to have gone quite well. From the last oil change, it's never used anything. So yeah, so that's that done. Just pop the side cover back on again, pop the cover on underneath, and that's it done. Then I'll take it for a wee test ride. Well, I've set up my microphone on the old bike just to give it a try out. I don't know if it's working properly or not. If you're watching this video, then it's probably worked. If you're not watching this video, then it's not. Apart from the microphone plugged in, I'm also trying out the battery pack extension as well. Power pack, whatever you call it. Yeah, just so the battery doesn't run flat. So I've just changed oil in the bike. I'll tell you what I found out about this bike. So you know when you're out for a cruise and you don't want to be sitting changing through gears up and down the gears all the time. With this bike, if you sit and take it up to about 40 and get into top gear, you can sit in top gear for 40 quite easily. I'm sitting in top gear now, and I'm sitting at 60. So when you're going along, you know, out on a bike ride and it's wee windy roads and everything, you know, with some bikes you're up and down the gears. Well, not with this one. I mean, look. There, you're down to 40 and you can pull away in top gear easy up to 60. Unlike the KTM, I have to up and down the gears all the time, or the cruisers that I've had, you know, you had to pop up and down the gears. Not with the Goldwing, it just seems to be fine. I'll tell you what is good about the Goldwing. You know, somebody laughed at me when I said it was like riding a sports bike. I mean, look, you can get it over. It's just fantastic. Goes like a rocket, handles well. Yeah. So I'm just doing a quick spin round the block. I need to go to the shop and buy stuff for my tea tonight. My wife's away to New Zealand for a week, so I'm on my own. So yeah, I thought I'd bring you out for just a wee buzz round. So this is the outskirts of Werribee, virtually near where I live. I'll just sneak away out there. And there's the new bridge, the railway bridge that the train goes across. It used to be a level crossing here, just where the bridge is there, and they've done away with that, and it's now a flyover for the trains, which works quite well. And you still get slight tailbacks at this junction though, but the only trains that come through here are sort of freight trains now, because all the passenger trains actually go up a new line up to Wyndham Vale where I live. Jesus, look at that car. I don't know if that's the stereo making it bounce or the engine. Alright, here we go. So I'm not going through Werribee. Oh well, maybe I'm going through Werribee, you know. I was going to go to the round that way, but yeah, changed my mind. It's a long queue of traffic waiting to go out that way for some reason. Of course, time is getting on. I'm just going to do a wee sneaky turn around here. I think. And we're off. There's a nice wee sneaky U-turn. Because you can. And we'll just flip. On you go, son. There we go. If everybody lets one out, it keeps everybody moving. So we'll take a wee left down here, down the Geelong Road, and we'll go the back road up to the shops. If you've been along this road at some point years ago, you'll probably realise it looks completely different now. We've always had houses on the right, but to the left, this is all new. And there's the that's part of the old Werribee Aerodrome. There's two hangars, there's one here and one just further up there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's two hangars there, and one of them has a B-24 Liberator, and they've been restoring it for years and years. I think they had a fleet of them here at some point in Australia, because during the Second World War we never really, I say we, I didn't live here, but you know, Australia wasn't really under threat until Japan came into the war, and Australia was attacked a few times by Japanese Air Force, and I think the Navy had sort of came over this way as well. There's the other hangar. So yeah, Australia did see a wee bit of action. It was mostly northernly though, you know, up by Darwin. I think Darwin came under attack by the Japanese. It was quite heavy bombing up there at one point during the Second World War. And ever since then, I think America's still got an air base up by Darwin. and that's just stemmed over from the Second World War, just in case anything ever happens, you know, war-wise. See, there's more houses. That was all part of an aerodrome at one time. Such a... So I've changed the oil and I've put in that Castrol, and I'm just noting the gears are a wee bit smoother. I don't know if that's just because I changed the oil or because it's Castrol, I don't know. But it does seem a wee bit smoother through the gears. It used to be really, really clunky. Well trained doggies. I don't know if you're going to get to change here or not. Fantastic. So yeah, this is the back road up to where I live now. Just looking at the price of fuel there. E10 217.9, so say 218 a litre. Special unleaded, which is just your normal unleaded, it's 219.9, so say 220 a litre. And diesel 214.9, say 215. Why do they do that 0.9? It really irritates me. Just call it what it is. Just take it up to the next one, you know. I don't see the point of 0.1 cent a litre. It's just stupidity, it really is. But however, so this is all new as well. The road, I don't know if this road was here before. Yeah, the road was here before, but there was no houses on it. It was just like a couple of old farms and things like that. And nobody really used this road. I used to use it as a shortcut back home. But since they started the building work, and everybody's gotten that used to this road now. So this is the level crossing. Very rarely you get trains coming up here now. I don't know if you noticed there or no, but when we passed the railway line, there's actually 3 sets of lines, 3 tracks, and if you go back, oh, when was it now, 70s or 80s, they brought the Flying Scotsman over here. It was doing like a world tour. I'd been to America and it came to Australia, and there's footage, because a lot of the railway lines in Australia, there's 3 lines instead of just the 2, you know, the one way and the other. And they've got footage of 3 steam trains roaring up that line there towards Melbourne, and they're racing each other, and one's the Flying Scotsman and the other 2 are Australian steam trains. And it's quite good to see if you're into your old steam trains. But if you have a look at Flying Scotsman Australia, and you'll see some video footage of it. Quite interesting to see. So this is more building sites, more houses going up. It just never stops. And then over to the right, some older houses there. They've got big gardens at the back. Even somebody's got sheep. But eventually they'll sell up. That'll all be houses eventually. Everywhere you go is houses. It's bloody annoying. When I moved into this, but I mean, I only moved here in 2008, but this was a lovely area, it really was. It still is. But the amount of houses that's came up here, I reckon it's doubled or tripled, quadrupled probably. The bit where I live was built around about 1978, 79. It's quite an older area. But round about it was just open space. Whereas now it's all boxed in by new housing schemes. Yeah. Crazy. Oh well, I'm quite happy with the old Goldwing after the oil change is running beautiful. So smooth. She was running smooth before, right enough. But the gears have made a wee bit of a difference. I tell you what worried me, I was out for a ride at the weekend, was a couple of times it sort of jumped up a gear on its own, and I don't know why it would do that. And that's why I wanted to put some really good oil into it, just to see how it performed. It seems to be alright. Speed bumps. But yeah, no, they go on about a Goldwing, you know, it being an old man's bike, and God, I beg to differ. I'd like to see any young guy having a shot on this. I tell you, he'd love it. He'd love it. It's just like a big sports bike, except a 6-cylinder boxer engine. It's unbelievable, the sound and the power. Like I said before, it's not the most powerful bike on the road, but it feels and sounds awesome when you ride it. So it's not really an old man's bike, it's not a big slow cumbersome thing. I can take this, I can commute with this every day if I wanted to. Fly in and out traffic, you know, lane splitting. It's not as easy as the KTM, but it's easy enough to do it on this. It doesn't use that much fuel, you know, that much more than what my KTM does. So yeah, I don't know. I reckon a lot of younger guys had a shot at the Goldwing, they'd think twice about calling it an old man's bike. This thing's just amazing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, because I'm just about home. And I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye.